I got some really good progress. I have got this motor in. The motor is all hooked up, and I actually also put a thing of the Silas sound insulation as well as a piece of that silver foam on there that just gives it a really good, you know, there's no vibration or anything. So that's good. Then what I did, so I put in a seat here. Just, this is the old, I mean, this is the original seat that I got with it, and it took me a little finagling to get it to fit on the new floor pan, but I just wanted to be able to drive this car. And so I did wind up finishing up the wiring, which required a couple of things. I had wanted to make sure, so I hooked up the snowflakes. Snowflakes have a conduit that go to them, and I hooked up the headlights, not the headlights themselves, but I set up the wires with the little brackets, and I hooked up the inside of the, you can see that the inside of the turn signals, the conduit is too short. I don't know what's up with that, but probably just the wrong one. And then I put 1 gallon of gas in here, and I have these grounds for the headlights, where I think they used to be back here and use this little bracket, but it won't go. I zip tied all of these, most of these wires, and then I had to do some creative stuff here with the wiring. You can see that it looks like a bit of a jumbled mess, but I'll probably zip tie it and try and get it organized. I have my flasher relay here, and I got these lights all wired up. I got my windshield wipers lined up. I got you know, everything is occupied now in the fuse box. I said I put 1 gallon of gas, and now check this out. So I can go in here. Oh, the other thing I did is I sanded down this guy, just because it had some really bumpy deterioration on the chrome. And so that goes here. And if I find the screws, I'll go ahead and put that on, because that won't interfere with the headliner. But for now, I'm going to set that here. I wanted to just show. So right here, I hooked up the battery, hooked up the everything on the regulator. Now, so let's see what it looks like. So that's that bus exhaust. I think it's pretty sweet, actually, once it goes under the bumper. So I have my 3 pounds of fuel pressure. This is still all tuned up from my starter stand. Again, these are my specs right here, and it runs great. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to drive this thing around the block. The other thing that I got is, watch this. Horn works. Oh, the other thing, watch this. Fast. I guess that's slow. That's slow. Well, there's some issues, like This is a little loose and now it's moved over, but you know, it basically works. But I'm really happy about this. Really happy about this motor. Yeah, look at that. I gotta cut or do whatever I do with this rubber because that's touching the exhaust. That's not gonna last long. Oh, turn signals. So left. See, the left one goes in here. Left one. That one, I'm gonna need to put the green piece of whatever it is, cellophane, and then right snowflake in the right front. So you know, I'm getting closer. Look at that jiggle. I'm getting closer with a lot of this, and I could actually drive this thing around the block, even though, you know, old seat, old doors. I want to take off this tint. Also, the return works. So, that is really good progress. I just filled my garage with exhaust, but that's really good progress. And like I said, I can drive this thing around the block. My things that I have to do today, one is, I think the filaments on the snowflakes, I believe it has like monofilament, or if it has a dual filament, somehow the things are crossed, because it was connecting my turn signal and brake light circuit with my running light circuit, which basically messes up the whole thing. So I have, for the time being, I disconnected my running lights, and I have to go in, take these off, make sure that I'm using dual filament bulbs. So if I look here, look really closely at this bulb, that is a dual filament bulb, and I just have to make sure that my two circuits in the snowflake are using the dual filaments, because it has two bolts with two separate copper things, and I noticed that they're touching and using a single filament bulb. So that's wrong, and I'll fix that. I didn't notice that until turn signals were causing both back lights and the license plate light to come on only on the back, and that was happening on both left and right turn signals. So I have to fix that. The other thing I have to fix, right now my windshield wipers, it does, the windshield wiper switch does like fast. When you turn it to the right, it goes fast. When you put it in the middle, it's off, and when you go left, it's going slow. So I believe what that means is I have the wrong, on these three things here, I just need to swap two of them, and I don't know which ones, but I'll probably just guess until it works right. But I'm real happy because, you know, I put on my flasher relay, and then I put on this new set of grounds, and I just, you know, did all the wiring, including the fuel devices underneath with the solenoid and fuel pump, and I was just kind of had my fingers crossed when I first connected it that everything was going to work properly. So the other thing I'm going to do, so I've heard that you can loosen the shifter bolts and move that back like an inch, and that may help with the location of the shifter. The shifter is a little bit far up, and I heard that you might be able to move it back like 2 inches by moving back this bracket by 1 inch or so. So we'll see how that works. I don't have the headlights in, and I also have not filled the fuel tank all the way to see how that fuel gauge works. But the fact that the motor works and I can drive it around the block is a huge step for me. So fabulous. I will probably, my next video is probably going to be with the camera hanging from the magnetic mounts from the top here, and I'll probably drive it around the block. So That's the progress for today.